Welcome back in to Occupy Democrats on a Manic Monday. And Donald Trump is right at it again, playing hardball in a way that should be exceptionally disconcerting to Americans. And I'm going to show that story to you in just a few seconds because he's getting the band back together, as we would say. More notably, to use a better metaphor, he's calling up some folks from minor league baseball to the majors. And what I mean by that are people that he is going to be pardoning. I'm going to show that story to you in just a few seconds because it's exceptionally important when you listen to the sound of the things Donald Trump has said. Remember when Joe Biden did this?
President Biden pardoning his family members minutes before President-elect Trump is sworn in.
Yeah, Lester, a rare and sweeping pardon here from the president in just his final moments, pardoning all of his living siblings and their spouses, including James Biden, Sarah Biden, Valerie Owens Biden, his sister, her husband, John T. Owens, and his brother, Francis Biden. Now, Lester, none of these people have been charged with crimes, but he says he's doing this because there's partisan politics here, obviously.
Yeah, he pardoned family members moments before he left the White House to try and protect them from the guy he knew was coming into office, who's now been there for 10 months doing what he's been doing. Because Donald Trump on the campaign trail did indeed say this.
You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
Yeah. He told the American public, he told everybody, we're going to fix it so good you won't even have to vote. And that should be disconcerting and scary. And that's why Biden did what he did on the way out. But Trump's in the White House. He's 10 months in the White House. He has 3 years and change left. And what did Trump do the second he got into office? He did this.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon, full pardon. We have about 6 commutations in there, approximately 1,500 people. Six commutations.
Were there any cases you did not commute or pardon of people?
We're looking at different things, but the commutations would be the ones that we'll take a look, and maybe it'll stay that way, or it'll go to, full pardon.
Yeah, he pardoned, of course, as you may know, every single one of the Jan 6 rioters, plus commuting several sentences of people who committed violent acts that day. Does he care? Of course he doesn't care. Because in this breaking story, he's now pulling a Biden, only he has 3+ years to go, and they're not his family friends. Oh, no. He's taking all the people that helped him try to overturn the 2020 election, and he's giving them pardons in advance so that he can have them in his back pocket to try and go after people again. Check out this ridiculously amazing story. Listen and look at what Donald Trump just did today. Breaking news. Trump pardons top allies involved in effort to overturn 2020 election. President Donald Trump has issued pardons for numerous allies and alleged co-conspirators in his efforts to overturn his 2020 election loss. Justice Department pardon attorney Ed Martin posted documents Sunday night showing the president issued full, complete, and unconditional pardons to Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, John Eastman, Kenneth Chesbrough, Boris Epstein, Jenna Ellis, and Sidney Powell, although the pardons are largely symbolic, reported Politico. The pardon applies broadly to, in quotes, all United States citizens for conduct relating to the advice, creation, organization, execution, submission, support, voting activities, participation in, or advocacy for or of any slate or proposed slate of presidential electors, as well for any conduct relating to their efforts to expose voting fraud and vulnerabilities in the 2020 presidential election, according to Politico. None of the allies listed on the documents were charged with federal crimes, which Trump has the power to pardon. Ellis pleaded guilty to charges in Georgia and cooperated with prosecutors in other states, while Chesbrough also pleaded guilty to felony charge in Georgia and cooperated with prosecutors in Arizona and Nevada. The documents posted by Martin weren't dated, so it's not clear when it was signed. Former special counsel Jack Smith identified Giuliani, Eastman, and Powell as Trump's co-conspirators in the election subversion case that was dropped after he won re-election last November, so the pardons would prevent a future administration from pursuing a federal case against them. them. End quotes. Though Trump has long insisted he has the power to pardon himself for federal crimes, an untested proposition, it appears he is not yet prepared to test that theory, Politico noted. Though the pardon document indicates it could apply to others who fit the same criteria, it explicitly excludes Trump. Trump also pardoned dozens of Republican activists who signed paperwork falsely claiming to be presidential electors as part of the plot to pressure then Vice President Mike Pence to overturn Joe Biden's election win. In one of his first acts after returning to the White House, Trump issued pardons or commutations for more than 1,500 convicted or charged in connection with the U.S. Capitol riot, including 14 members of the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. I mean, just think about it. Now you got all your gang who helped you or are willing to do or say anything to try and overturn 2020, and now you've cleared them, even though they're not charged with anything federally, you cleared them ahead of time. Biden was doing it to protect his family just in case. And as you can already see from Trump and some of the indictments he's made to Letitia James and James Comey, pretty smart of Biden to actually do that because Trump is somebody who commonly out loud has been very clear about how vengeful and how much he loves revenge. But Donald Trump has now brought up some of his players from 2020 and given them pardons in advance. So no matter what they do, the next year to the midterms and beyond, you can't touch them. Jesus H, folks. Watch and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and you guys stay frosty.